What did you think when Nipsey Hussle was murdered?
I was shocked. I was shocked. I was actually shooting. I was shooting some video out in North Hollywood, doing some drone shooting, and I got the alert that he was shot. There was no report that he died. It was just that he was shot.
Right.
So I started calling people that I knew that was in his circle. And even, it was crazy, even people within his own circle, they didn't know. Is he alive? He might be alive. Is he dead? No, he's dead. I'm like, does anyone know? But then, what, within like maybe less than an hour, they pronounced him dead. And I was like, wow, that hit hard, because if Nip can get hit, it's just a reminder, any of us out here can get hit, you know? I can get hit from doing an interview. You can get hit. Look what happened to the kid from Chicago, Zach. I mean, so it's just a reminder, like, wow, you know, Nip got hit. So yeah, I was devastated. You know, I knew Nip before he blew up. I've been a fan of Nip since the day I met him. Since the day he walked in through I was at this shop from a friend of mine that had a shop, and he walked in. And the day he walked in and I chatted with him and talked to him, I knew he was gonna blow up. So yeah, it hit hard. Knowing the guy personally. I did one of his first interviews that he ever gave, maybe like the third one he ever gave. So yeah, that hit hard.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you know much about the dude that shot him, Eric Holder?
I knew nothing about this dude. Initially, a rumor was like, oh, this might be an enemy gang, or this might be some gang stuff. But then pretty quickly that got pretty much stalled, and it came out that it was somebody from within his own community that did it. I don't know anything about the guy. I just heard the same things everybody else heard, that he might have been a snitch on a previous case. And you know, Nip has a lot of integrity when it comes to snitching. You know, he's very vocal about that, and he's not going to associate and allow people like that to associate in his circle. And he just told the dude, like, you need to get your paperwork right. And if this is what it is, you can't be around me. Like any man would say. So that's all I knew. And I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked right now. That was 2019. And here we are 2.5 years going on 3 years later, and I'm still shocked.
Mm-hmm. Now, since that, there's been court transcripts that came out that kind of like, from the witnesses, who kind of like tell what happened. Now, basically, it seems like Eric saw Nip. Eric was with a girl, and Nip kind of confronted him in front of the girl in a bad manner, and that kind of that's what set him off.
Yeah, I think that's all it takes. When you call somebody a snitch, when you call someone an informant, it touches a nerve. It touches a nerve whether you're a snitch or not a snitch. And you know, he didn't take it right. Eric Garner, he couldn't handle it. But you got to know that when you do accuse somebody of that, there are going to be some consequences.
Especially a street dude.
Exactly. Not all street dudes are going to respond the way Eric did. Right. It might have just been a physical fight. It could have been a stabbing, but Eric took it all the way. He took it all the way. And I'm not surprised that he did that, because I know a whole lot of people that will do the same thing. You know, you call them a snitch in front of people, you're asking for consequences. And, you know, it's unfortunate that he ended up going out like that.
Right. I remember on Clubhouse you had said, you kind of put it in a better perspective for people, that imagine, well, there's this video of Nip confronting the paparazzi. So imagine Nip talking to you like that. Right.
I always tell people, yo, Nip will go off on you. Mm-hmm. You know, you see the outside Nip. You know, he's always nice, he's always articulate, he's intelligent. I mean, he was speaking on cryptocurrency like 5 years ago. But I've seen the pissed off Nip. I've seen the Nip that's in that video where I guess someone was following him and he was just upset about it, and he went off on them. I've seen that side of Nip before. He can get really irate, and he will go off on you. And I'm just imagining that's probably how he was speaking to Eric that day. You know, Nip has that side, and I think that video is probably the only video for the public to see how Nip gets mad. When he gets mad, he gets mad. He did it to me once, you know, many years ago, and it really shocked me. I was like, whoa, Nip, relax, man. But hey, you know, men will be men.
Exactly. There's one thing for two dudes that know each other talk like that, but the female being involved, especially if they're, you know what I mean? Like that's gonna, I feel like that was the...
It's humiliating.
Right.
It is humiliating. Look, when Nip went off on me once, I was alone. I didn't have anybody with me. And I felt a little violated how he spoke to me when we had this situation many years ago. This was like maybe 2011, 2012, way back when. I was a little disappointed. And so just imagine, you know, Eric being called a snitch, and then there's a woman there, you know, imagine how he was feeling. You know, he was probably feeling like the lowest thing on earth. Right. So, yeah, calling someone a snitch, calling someone an informant in the streets is a very dangerous thing.
With that being said, you think, looking back on it, you think Nip should have just handled it better? Like maybe took him to the side and just told, you know what I mean? Hey,
man, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. If I could talk to Nip, I would have said, leave it alone. Let him get his burger from Master Burger. Let him enjoy just hanging out here for a few minutes, and deal with it later. Deal with it later, you know? Because, you know, he has kids. He's a successful rapper. He was worth millions of dollars. You gotta start reevaluating the way you interface with people when you're at that level that he was at. Right. So if we could rewind the clock, you know, that's, I'm sure everybody would say that to him. Yo, Nip, chill out. I got this. Get in the car. Go home. We'll deal with it, you know?
What do you think about the circus that came out just immediately after Nip was shot? Just like people were like, oh, Nip was shot military style, all this type of just innuendo.
It was so many conspiracy theories going on that I actually turned it off. I don't pay much mind to it, so I didn't really. I don't really even know what all the ridiculous theories are. It's just a street shooting. That's all it is. The government ain't involved in this. This ain't the LAPD. They ain't the FBI, the CIA.
Not Big U.
It's not Big U. It's not Dr. Sabi. It's none of that, okay? It's none of that. It's just a plain old-fashioned street shooting. That's all it is. So I don't pay no mind to any of those other theories. And I don't know, are some of these theories still floating around in 2021?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I can understand when it first happened. 2019, everybody's confused. Everybody don't know who did it. Dr. Sabi, you know, the LAPD, Big U. Nah, you know, it's just, I can understand that when it first comes out. But at the same time, I think there's a desire for people to create content to have these crazy conversations because it's a revenue source for people. You know, let me create this video. Let me talk about Dr. Sabi, Nipsey Hussle. Let me talk about the LAPD, you know, so it ain't none of that. From my position and from what I know, it ain't none of that.
Right. Now, I know you covering Eric Holder's case, right? Now, can you tell me what's happening with his case?
So far, they got a trial scheduled for January of 2022. COVID was a big reason for the delays. Initially, they had a trial date of 2020, like mid-2020, which would have been about a year and some months after he was arrested. COVID shut the courts down in March of 2020. So all that got pushed. So then the new court dates, new trial dates were going to be 2021. But his original attorney, well, not his original attorney was Christopher Darden. Right. Christopher Darden didn't last that long. He got off the case pretty quickly. But then he had a public defender, and she'd been with the case for maybe 2 years, and she got a promotion. So she got off the case. So then they brought a brand new attorney in, a brand new public defender, in probably, when did that brand new public defender come in? Probably early 2021. And this public defender is basically starting all over, starting from scratch. So they gave this new public defender stacks and stacks of discovery.
You gotta catch up.
Got to catch up. He's got to catch up on this. He hasn't read any of this stuff. He doesn't know anything about Eric Garner. He doesn't know anything about Nipsey Hussle. So it's basically starting all over. And he told the court that he will be trial ready by January 2022. So that's pretty much where it stands. It's just been hearings. Every couple of months there's been a hearing here or there. There's one hearing where Eric didn't even show up. But that's all it's been, just hearings and just trying to figure out when can we go to trial. And another thing, the trial judge, Judge Robert Perry, who knew about this case from the very beginning, was very familiar with this case, he retired. So now they got a new judge, we got a new public defender, we still have the same prosecutor. So I'm confident that it'll start in early 2022. There's another conspiracy theory. It was like, why is it taking so long for this case to go? And what people need to realize that it takes a while. It could take up to even without COVID, it could take 2 years, 3 years to go to trial for a murder. I've seen people wait in the Los Angeles County Jail for 4 years to go to trial. So this is not unusual. I can't speak for other counties, but I know in Los Angeles County, where there's over 20,000 people in the county jail, and many of them are going to plead out, but some of them are waiting to go to trial. You throw COVID in there, you got major delays. So that's where his case stands right now. He should be going to trial in early 2022.
Let me just get this one out the way, because I remember when the whole Nip thing happened, Cowboy did an interview with I think with the news or whoever it was. And it kind of, people like gave him shit because it kind of contradicted his other statements that he had made. Like, oh, he said he was in the store for this long, but really he wasn't even in there for that long. So what do you know what I'm talking about or no?
I vaguely know. I've heard people criticizing Cowboy for giving contradictory stories. Right. I don't really think he's giving any contradictory stories. It's sometimes you forget, sometimes you smoke a lot of weed, sometimes you just don't remember. You'd be surprised, something could happen yesterday and you don't really have a great recollection of how it happened, when it happened. They're trying to drag him into some conspiracy. I don't think there is anything there. It's just, we're humans. We forget. We have a bad memory. Throw some blunts in there, throw a couple of drinks, right, and you have a soup of contradictory stories. We're all contradictions to a certain degree. Right. We all have contradictions in us. Some of them happen within short periods, and some of them happen over long periods of time. You know, the biggest contradiction in hip hop is Tupac. Tupac was nothing but contradictions. So if you're going to criticize Cowboy for saying it one way like this and then saying it another way, then you're going to criticize yourself. I don't think he's involved in anything. I don't think he's part of some conspiracy. I don't think he had anything negative against Nip. I think he loved Nip. You know, I don't think there's anything there either.